I still think about that morning sometimes. It was early, around 7:15 a.m. The hospital was just beginning to wake up. Staff trickled in through the front doors, some holding coffee, some checking their phones, and a few already on calls. The air smelled like floor cleaner and fresh rain. It was one of those quiet mornings before the chaos of the day begins. I was standing near the lobby with a coworker from finance. We were talking about weekend plans when I noticed a familiar face, walking toward the entrance. Dr. Angela Williams. She walked with grace, head held high, her white coat folded neatly over her arm. Even if you didn't know her, you felt her presence. There was something powerful about the way she carried herself. Not in an arrogant way, never that, but in a way that let you know she had been through storms and still stood tall. But Dr. Williams wasn't just another doctor. She was the doctor, the founder, the one who had the dream to build this hospital from scratch. A place where everyone, no matter their background, race, or bank account, could get good care. When no one else believed it could be done, she found the money, hired the right people, and made it real. I remember reading about her when I first started working there. She used to work 18-hour days. She'd clean rooms herself when they were short on janitors. She knew everyone's name, and she never forgot where she came from. So when I saw her walking up that morning, I smiled and nudged my coworker. "There she is," I said. "The reason this place even exists." And then, everything took a turn. There was a new security, guard at the door. Young guy. I'd never seen him before. Maybe he just started. He stepped right in front of Dr. Williams and said, "Excuse me, ma'am. This entrance is for staff only." She smiled and said, "I know. I am staff." He looked her up and down. His face changed. He didn't smile back. "I'm gonna need to see some ID." She reached into her purse and started pulling it out, calm as ever. But he didn't wait. "Actually," he said, holding up a hand, "you can't come in right now. I'm gonna need you to step to the side." There was something in his voice. Not just firm, dismissive, like she was a problem to be dealt with. "I work here," she repeated, a little more serious now. "In fact, I founded this hospital." He smirked, like she just made a bad joke. "I don't think so, ma'am. I'm asking you one more time to step aside before I call someone." You could feel the energy shift in the room. People nearby stopped walking. Nurses paused mid-step. A few staff who knew who she was exchanged looks of confusion and anger. But Dr. Williams didn't lose her temper. She didn't shout. She just stood there, holding her ID, with this tired look in her eyes, a look I recognized, a look Black women know too well. That mix of exhaustion, disappointment, and restraint, knowing that if you do speak up too loud, you become the problem. And still, she stood tall. A few seconds later, Mr. Harris, the hospital administrator, walked through the lobby. As soon as he saw what was happening, he froze. Then he rushed over. "Dr. Williams, good morning. Is everything okay?" he asked, his voice full of concern. She handed him her ID without saying a word. He looked at it. Then he turned slowly to the guard. "And I swear, I've never seen Mr. Harris look that angry." "Do you know who this is?" he asked the guard. "This woman built this hospital. She is the reason you have a job right now. And you just told her she doesn't belong here?" The guard's face turned pale. I was just following protocol," he stammered. "I didn't know—" "No," Mr. Harris cut in sharply. "You didn't see her. You didn't ask with respect. You assumed. And that's not something we tolerate here. Not in this hospital. Not under her name." He pointed toward the security desk. "Leave your badge. You're done." There was silence in the room. Everyone watching knew what that moment really meant. It wasn't just about a misunderstanding. It was about a woman who had to fight her whole life to be seen. even in a place she built with her own hands. Dr. Williams didn't say much. She nodded to Mr. Harris, put her ID away, and kept walking. Like she had a hospital to run. Because she did. But I'll never forget the look in her eyes. Not anger, not pride, just hurt. And underneath that, strength. The kind of strength that keeps showing up even when the world keeps trying to push you out. After that day, the story spread around the hospital like wildfire. In the quiet corners of the break room, nurses whispered about it. Doctors talked about it in the hallways between appointments, and even the janitors who worked behind the scenes discussed how something so painful could happen in a place meant for healing. Some were outraged. Their hearts burned with anger at the thought that someone who had built this hospital could be treated so harshly. They felt a deep injustice, as if the very spirit of the place was being challenged. Others, too, wore a heavy look of shame. They realized that the respect we so often assume was there for everyone was not as strong or as fair as it should be. That day, it became clear to everyone that wearing a white coat, saving lives, or building a hospital from nothing wasn't a guarantee of being seen for who you truly are. No matter how many lives you touched or how many hurdles you overcame, there could still be those who treated you like you didn't belong, simply because of the color of your skin. It was a hard lesson, a painful reminder that the world doesn't always measure worth by heart or hard work. I learned something very important that day. I learned that respect isn't something that comes automatically from a title or a position. It isn't handed out with an ID or a certificate. True respect comes from truly seeing a person. It means recognizing the struggles they've faced, the battles they've fought, and the contributions they've made to our lives. It means looking beyond the surface and understanding the heart and soul behind every action. And if we can't do that in a hospital, a place meant to care for others and heal wounds, both physical and emotional, then what are we really doing? How can we claim to nurture and protect life if we can't even give simple human kindness and understanding to the very people who dedicate their lives to healing us? Dr. Angela Williams didn't need to prove her worth to anyone. She had already done that through years of hard work, compassion, and determination. Despite the sting of that morning, she kept on moving forward. And here she is, still leading with vision, still healing with care, and still standing tall in the face of adversity. Her strength reminds us all that even when the world fails to recognize our value, our true power comes from within, and from the lives we touch along the way. Thank you so much for watching. If this video spoke to you, taught you something new, or made you feel something, don't forget to support the channel, like the video to help it reach more people. Comment below. I'd love to hear your thoughts, your story, or what stood out to you. Share this with someone who needs to hear it, and if you haven't already, subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss the next one. Every bit of support helps us grow and keep telling the stories that matter.